Hey guys, we're here playing a new course that b101 brought out, and I'm doing this as part of a celebration, basically 500 subscribers. Technically, I'm not quite there yet. As I record this, I'm at 499. Part of me is hoping that by the time this gets uploaded and watched, it'll be 500. Part of me is hoping that this will be the thing that pushes me over 500. So, all we need to do is have one little person go down to over there, the red button, push that, we'll get to 500. And the reason why 500 is a big deal is it opens up the community post, or community tab thing, where I can be a lot more interactive with you guys and ask you questions about what you want to see in this channel going forward. Just to give you, so, because it's the 500 sub special, I actually did some research for this one. B101 created this. It's a renovation of Matt F's Burgundy Bluffs, which is, of course, he loved. From a CC contest. He's focused on keeping the same planting, hole quarters, and bunkering, while adding strategic bunkering and tweaking the complexes of the greens. If you know Burgundy, it should feel fairly familiar, except for the 14th. So, really cool. If a gun was held to my head and I was told I have to pick a favorite designer in PGA Tour 2K21 or the TGC series as a whole, it probably would be Ben. And then Matt's another great designer too. And so to have Ben come in and tweak a course that already was quite well received a couple years ago by another great designer, it's a really cool project. And I'm excited to go and play this. Just going to do a quick fly around here. Just kind of give you an idea of what the plot looks like. I'm not expecting much in the way of Easter eggs. Not really Ben's thing, to be honest, and I'm not sure if there were any from the original one, so it's a cool looking plot. Alright, let's go. Is that the clubhouse out of bounds there, I see? Maybe. Whatever's right behind me is. Okay, so we got 430-ish. Green, or fairway. That's a fairway, Wayne. Pinched in a little bit there. The classic Matt F bunkers. One of the things he's well known for is creating his great bunkering. We've got some nice rolling terrain in the fairways. Good movement, but not over the top. And then yeah, the Matt F bunkering is always really solid. You just see how well that's sculpted. And he's got a big bunker there, but he's able to make it work by creating it well and just knowing when it makes sense to have big bunkers. The green is certainly not out of control, but it's got a bit of movement to it, which will make it a bit more fun. Let's pitch this guy on here. Oh, that might need to go a lot. Yeah, okay, don't come up short. Let's see. I'm gonna pitch this up there. I could do without the red and white flags, but I'll get over it. For people who don't know, that's a Newcastle fan thing. Our biggest rivals they wear red and white, so, whereas we wear black and white. Yeah, good opener. Second hole, we've got 570-ish, par 5, and we've got some angles going on here. So one of the things that Ben's really well known for is he will create angles in the fairways so that we want to stay as far right as we can here to get as good an angle in as we can get. We've got tons of room to go left. Our angle just gets worse. That's something Ben does a lot. So I'll take him up on it. Tug it just a hair, but it should still be fine. It might actually kick back to the right a little bit. Oh, and then it's gonna go left off of here, maybe? Yeah, okay. We've left ourselves 250. And we've got a bit of a helping slope there, but not to run it onto. He's created this green very much. Excuse me, guys. That was kind of gross. I'm just glad that I got the mic muted before I blew everybody's headphone users' heads off. Anyways, he's created this for a wedge because it's a par 5, right? So you can get here in 2, but you're going to have a really difficult time getting out of the pin. If you're hitting a wedge, you throw it in there and stop it. And it looks like these bunkers on the left, too, are going to be no fun at all to try to get up and down from. So we're going for it because, you know, channel rules. But I maybe over here we're going to want to end up. That doesn't look like a terrible putt. Touch fast is going to make it go a bit farther left than I anticipated. It's going to just sneak up onto this top ridge back, or top. Oh no, it's going off the back. That actually might be a good thing. And then, yeah, now we've got a really tricky chip coming down the hill. So it's definitely tempting you into hitting it in 2, but you better get it. You better get it right. Otherwise, you're gonna have some issues. Try and creep it down this hill. Oh, yeah, we can do it right there. That's a cool par 5. Unfortunately, this game plays quite easily, so you don't get the full effect of that strategy, but I can appreciate that it's there. Now we get ourselves a short par 4. One of the most difficult holes to create and have it be interesting. I'm trying to decide, is there a reason not to just hammer a driver over the corner and leave myself, hopefully, I might get it down to splash range. How far is that bunker out? Yeah. We might end up in there. Try and draw one. I'm pretty confident Ben's trying to get us to hit 3-wood and hit a full wedge in, but I didn't quite get it as far as I wanted. We'll have to just flop this then. So you could very easily just play a 3-wood out into the fairway and hit a full wedge. To this pin, I didn't really see a huge amount of danger in hitting it up here as far as I could. But I could see, you know, these back pins. You definitely, I don't think you'd want to be all the way up here. I think you'd want a full wedge in. Unless you're good with pitches, in which case I would have probably had a pitch to that pin. So, again, flop shots are silly in this game. The fact that I'm hitting a 49-yard flop shot, no. And the fact you're hitting a flop shot with anything other than a lob wedge, or your most lofted wedge, is silly too. So just another example of the gameplay kind of nuking the design a bit. That should have been a far more difficult shot from 50 yards out, and it should have been one where I would have been better off laying up. Okay, we got ourselves a nice par 3 here. Again, bunkering's great. Nice view in the background of the ship out there too. I think I needed one more club than this, because even though it's downhill, it's still got a bunch of wind into it. Okay, never mind. I hit exactly the right club. And then, yeah, keep in mind too, this was a CC contest course, so this course is designed to be a little bit more on the easy side. Couldn't figure that breakout. All right. A nice subtle contouring there took me away from the pin just a little bit with the tee shot when I wasn't dead at it. I should have looked a little bit more to see if I was better missing a hair right, and maybe I would have had an easier putt, but that's my mistake in playing the hole. All right, we got a famous Ben Centerline hazard, although that joke's kind of old. And it probably was already here before. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I don't remember the original course. The idea here is if you go to the right, you bring all of this stuff into play. But you have a much shorter, you make the hole a lot shorter, and you give yourself a much better angle. You go over here. So if we pull up this, we go here. If we hit it 309, you're gonna have 236. You hit it here and you have 309. Hit it 309 and you're gonna have 267. So it's 30 yards difference. And you get a better angle coming to the right. You have to deal with the fact you might go off the cliff though. But it's pretty wide. It is going to camber me over there too. I just saw that. So you kind of want to skirt that bunker to keep it from bounding into the rough. And then we leave ourselves with a difficult shot to get anywhere near this pin. Hanging lie. So we've hit a decent drive, but because we didn't cheat the right side more, we've got this hanging lie. And again, the angle isn't as good as it could have been. Downhill and below our feet, so hopefully that'll be enough to just trundle on. Oh yeah, this is gonna be all over it. Okay, green side again. I mean, everything is sloping towards the water over there, so from this view it's going right to left. He's given us a little bit of a bowl here for this pin, which is cool. Just again, a lot of subtlety in Ben's greens. There's red on here, but there's also orange and yellow. You don't see like massive red slopes and then green. It's blended in, and it just a lot more natural than what a lot of courses I see. And I was stalling there, so I didn't have to miss that putt, but we made it. Okay. Now, what do we got going on here? Oh, that's the fairway we just played. Okay. That's interesting that we're kind of going over that. Our angle is over here. It's a lot of there's a lot of simple, like subtle touches to this course that make an overall really nice looking course. Like the planting isn't in your face. Little rock work here and there, it's not in your face. It's kind of like a less is more kind of a design, which I really like, and it looks very, very natural to me. We snuck through into the rough here, but we should be okay. In hunting for the angle, we went a little bit too far over there. And then if this can get up over that hill and crest way down, no, you're not going to get that. So we got ourselves a bit of a difficult putt. Well, not a bit of a difficult putt in general. We didn't get it close enough to the pin, and so we've got a pretty good break in 20-footer. Again, the green makes total sense with the land. And from this view, everything's sloping down to the right. Bit of a mound going on here to create some ground game. Pin over there that you can actually keep it over there. It's uphill. Let's see. That much maybe. Who knows? That much, I guess. Very comfortable round of golf out here. Okay, we got a good length par 3 here. Because I carry a 3-iron and then 3-wood, I often find myself in this spot where I feel like I'm in between clubs. I think what I'm going to do here is just try and hit a bullet that runs. How far does it have to carry? It has to carry about 200 to get over that. One thing to note here is that there's room to run the ball on. It's a 220-yard hole, so in order to have this hole make some sense, it needs to have that, and that's cool. And then to the back, it's going to be what, 250 or something. And then you've got room. You've got ridges to help to this pin here. You can ride this around there. If you go a little too far left, you get stuck down in here. Ben's good about creating greens too, where it's not obvious where his 4-pin placements are. A lot of designers, you're just like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where they all are. But we're just going to run this on. Seriously? I didn't think that was going that fast. Alright, well, I tell you what it's like to putt on this green, but I had like a foot. Thought we were going to have a 500 sub ace. Okay. Short par 3 or par 4. Oh. You could try and knock it over all of this and get it up. Well, I mean, you could try to drive the green, I guess. With it being downhill, you might, with a wind behind you, you might be able to carry that. Yeah, you might. 310. You get the right wind, it'll carry. If you hit it to the left, though, and you get it over here, I'm not too sure what that doesn't look like a very fun chip. Now, because it's channel rules, we'll give it a crack, but I don't know if this is a shot I would play if I was playing a competitive round here. Oh, that thing really bounced to the right, so now we're going to go off the right, I think. Yeah. So it's one that you can take a crack at it, but it might not be your best plan. Would I rather have this shot, or would I rather have a full wedge from back there? That's a question you got to ask yourself. Now, the overpowered splash makes this a little easier to deal with. So another example of, because the short game is so easy in this game, that decision kind of gets made for you, because you know you're probably going to be able to find a way to get it up and down. Okay. Is there an appreciable difference in angle here? Given, well, uphill that far, maybe. We'll just hit it over here. I kind of wanted to shade it a bit to the right, but wasn't hugely bothered about it. Yeah. We're going to be hitting a sand wedge in here. Just de-lofted a hair because it's uphill. And we've hit it just a hair too far. Greens are fairly benign, though. Oh. I often find those greens the most difficult to putt on because I'm never too sure how much break to give. Yeah. So the angle's over here for sure. You've got all the room in the world to the left, but you'll make the hole a bit longer and you won't have as nice an angle. Although at 430, I don't know that it matters that much. It's one thing that it's my belief, at least anyways, that when you're starting to have wedges into greens, angles don't matter nearly as much because you can just hit a shot that's it's gonna stop as soon as it lands. So I don't worry about the angle as much then. When it's like a mid iron to long iron. Oh wow, that's not even close. It's gonna matter a lot more because the ball needs to roll. I do like these aprons in the front. We can just chip it up them instead of having to fly over rough. It's poor club. Poor club from the fairway. Probably would have been less uphill from the right too. Okay. Ooh, that green's way over there. Or the pin's way over there. So we want to make sure we're left. I want to get blocked out by that tree. And I mean, Matt's framing is always top notch. This is no exception. This is gonna go in the rough left, I think. No, it's gonna try to come back to the right, and it's just barely gonna make it. Yay! And then, oh boy, that's a false front. This is a difficult shot. You don't have a huge amount of room over this ridge. You can play it over here and be safe and give yourself a decent putt. If you try to go at it, you could end up anywhere. Because if you land on this slope, it's going to go screaming through there. You land it here, it'll stop probably before there. This is kind of a more difficult par 4, and it's more of a, you know, make sure you make par. Don't go too aggressively going for birdie, to this pin at least. And then even though I've hit a pretty decent shot there, I've got this putt. This green's got a lot of movement to it. Oh, yikes. That snapped off the earth. Okay. That's not exactly a birdie hole. You got to take some chances to get close to that pin. But we make par. Oh, cool blind tee shot here. So that post is there, and that's kind of the middle of the fairway if the wind wasn't blowing right to left. And you actually want to be up on the left because this is going to all slope down here. You're not going to have quite as good an angle, sort of. You're going to have a flatter lie up here, though, almost always. And if you slow it, it's not going to matter. You're going to get booted down there anyways. Very cool bunker, though, is the thing that was in the way that made this blind. So yeah, this is going to be a little below my feet. Angle's okay. I do like this sloping right in front of the green. I'm a big fan of having lots of fairway. Let the ball bounce, let it roll. I like the idea of using that mounding instead of a bunker to just make it a little bit different. Oh, it's all over it. It's within the shadow. Yeah, very subtle green. Good movement on it, but nothing crazy. Greens are only at 159 as well. We could speed those up. The greens could very easily handle it. But again, this is designed for CC, so you're not going to get the greens out of control on it. Or it was designed for CC. I imagine that intention was kept in this renovation. Cool look here. This might be an infinity fairway. I'm not sure what they call it, but when you can just really see water behind. They call it infinity something or other. This bunker over here. Oh, it's reachable. It's reachable, especially if it's downwind. Now, what is the idea? There's a bit of fairway over here. What the? Yeah, I don't think so. The only issue I have is I feel like if I hit driver straight, does it go through? Because it's gonna bounce a bunch. Try and hit a cut to calm that down. I'm not even gonna clear the bunker. Oh wow, I outthought myself something fierce there. We get to visit one of Matt's beautiful bunkers. And then that pin is not one that we're going to try to get too aggressive with. We've made a mistake off the tee. Let's not compound it by getting overly aggressive with our second. So we're going to leave ourselves, I don't know, 15, 20 feet here. What is it? 23, even longer. Yeah. Better than bombing it over the back of the green and being down there. So another thing Ben likes to do is give you those kinds of decisions. Or you can be aggressive if you want, but penalty for missing it is gonna hurt you. And then if you can just bang in a 23-footer, it's always better to have a putt than be on the side of a mountain. Okay, we get a par 5. The centerline hazard this time it looks like a rock. It isn't. It's this, I think, buried trees or something underneath it. that gives it this look, which is really cool. You want to be left for the angle. I'm not seeing why I want to go right. Because it looks like going to the right, I'm just going to go bounding down into the rough. Is there maybe a pin that would be... Yeah, you could argue like that a left-hand pin over here, it might be a better angle, but even then, I'm not sure I'd want to go over there because I just don't see that I'm going to be able to keep it on this fairway. But this is narrow, so... That's in trouble. Unless it gets a massively lucky bounce. Like that. Still have it on the side of a hill, though. And then what you want to do, land it short and just ride this ridge all the way in there. Let me just... Oh, that should be a good line. Now, is it going to be enough? Yeah. Green is a bit faster, that's all the way there. But you're never going to be upset with a 28-foot eagle putt. Yeah, well, it's cool the way it's done. The only concern I have with that hole is the right side. Just, I don't see, I might be missing something. I don't see why I would go to the right. This was the hole that was more redesigned, though, too, so I'm not sure what it was like before, and I'm not sure what the goal of it was this time. Oh, I've hammered that. Okay, well, make a fairly simple birdie out of it. Made it a bit more interesting by killing our first putt, but it's alright. Oh, cool little par 3 here. This is a great example of a par 3 where you don't need to have it be surrounded by water to make it interesting and make it cool. The trees behind the green are cool, the bunkering front cool, it just looks great. Is the wind going to carry this enough? Because that's going to... Yeah, I don't want a downhill putt, though. The wind is going to carry that enough. Yeah. So, a little bit of a funnel here where this one is, but if you go long, you're going to be putting down the hill, which won't be fun. So, again, subtlety, which I love. Downhill breaking putts, I don't love. That's just me not making a putt. And then we get ourselves another 5. This one's way downhill. But it's into the wind. It says 499 above, but scorecard is going to say a lot longer than that. 535. Okay. So you can hug the left here to try to get a bit closer. I'm seeing that it's cambering over there, so I'm going to give it some room to the right. And then I'm going to fast it and potentially get bounced into the rough. Nope. Okay. This is actually probably a good spot. And then 24 feet down with 230. Again, we can ride a ridge in there. We don't want to go too far right and too long, so it's going to go off the back. But we want to land kind of where that cursor was and then just have it ease its way back to the pin. It's a little farther left than I intended, but it's going to get some help. Oh, I hit it probably a hair too hard and gave it a bit too much break. Bugger. Okay. 2 more to go. And look, I think I saw we're finishing on a par 3. This is interesting. Okay. Way uphill. What is it to cover? Okay, we can get that. Angle is not going to be much fun at all, but again, it's going to be a short shot, so I can handle that. Uphill second shot too. Put a bit of spin on it because I knew that it would kind of skip a hair. Oh, and I shouldn't have. It might have bounced in. Oh no. Not my favorite part. It's just a little bit straightforward, that one, but is what it is. And then we've got this. What a finish. I mean, a par 3 finish is a bit risky, but if you do it well, it can work. So you're gonna have a pretty good hike to get to the green because you got to go walk all the way around here and then take this path, walk around, bridge over there. I was curious how we were getting there because it wasn't immediately obvious from the screen. But I do like that the bridge is over here. We can see it, but it's to the left of my player here, and I like that. I like when that's kind of sort of out of the way. It's not dominating. What I want to see is this. Now Matt's a lefty, so his player would be over here. He'd be seeing more of this side, whereas I'm seeing more of that side. Either way, it looks really cool. And the thing he's done here is, yeah, you're dead if you come up anywhere other than the green, just about. But there's plenty of room to hit the green, so you have to hit a pretty bad shot here to end up in trouble. I'm just going to cut that a hair back into that wind because I thought 6 iron straight up might be a bit too much. 7 iron I didn't think was going to make it. We leave ourselves with a good putt here. And that time we make one. Okay. Well, that's a very enjoyable round of golf. Definitely CC. Definitely a course that pro tour players are going to find easy. But that was its purpose when it was created. So it's done what it was supposed to. 7,200 yard par 72. It's going to be a bit short by this game standards. And again, that's fine. It's for CC. Really enjoyed the framing and the bunkering that Matt always brings. Planting, I didn't really comment too much on the planting, but it was all great. It just, everything seemed natural. Everything seemed like it fit. And then you get Ben in there getting some strategic stuff going on there. The only hole that I really like, the 14th, that right hand side, I'd probably want to play it a couple times to see if you can keep it over there and what you get for it. I just feel like you're going to get bounced off into the rough most of the time there. But I'd have to play it again. And then 17, yeah, that one was a little lacking in that it was just hit into a massive fairway and hit a pitch on. I get the only thing I guess you had to do there was keep in mind that you were way uphill, so you had to make sure you played it far enough left not to end up down the cliff. But other than that, really cool course. Really glad I've played it. Once we have the 500th subscriber, and it takes a week apparently for the community tab to come open, I will have some questions for you for what you'd like to see for this channel. Originally, and what it's been for most of its existence, is it's been a place for me to put VODs from Twitch streams. So one of the things I am curious about is, do you want to see more YouTube only stuff? And if so, what would that be? We do have a new game coming out allegedly at some point, so I imagine there'll be some of that. But just curious if there's anything else. Make sure you hit like, subscribe again, get the algorithm doing its thing, give more people an opportunity to see courses like this, and to help the channel too. Leave a comment, let me know what you like, what you don't like, give me some thoughts of what you would like to see this channel do going forward. And again, once the community posts are available, we'll get that going. But thank you for watching, and we'll be back with another playthrough here soon. Cheers, guys.